In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Arch Linux 2025 in a VirtualBox on a Windows 11 PC. This is a step-by-step guide on installing Arch Linux on a VirtualBox. Since we are installing Arch Linux in a VirtualBox, you must have enabled hardware virtualization on your PC or laptop. Now by default, this feature is enabled and allows you to run and test any OS in a virtual environment. If it's not enabled, you have to check the BIOS settings and turn on hardware virtualization. Once it's enabled, you can verify the status using the Windows Task Manager. Now go ahead, open your favorite web browser and head over to this link and download the VirtualBox for your Windows PC. Then download the Visual C++ dependency that is required for VirtualBox to run. Once it's done, head over to this link and click on this button to download Arch Linux. At the time of recording this video, Arch Linux 2025 is the latest version. You can choose the default 64-bit ISO file and download it. Once it's done downloading VirtualBox and Arch ISO file, place them on your desktop for easier navigation. Now install Visual C++ dependency. Then go ahead and install VirtualBox by following the on-screen instructions. Now as you can see, this is the user interface of the VirtualBox. We're going to go ahead and create a virtual machine for Arch Linux. To do so, click on the New button, name the virtual machine. This is the folder location where all the files of VM are stored. Then set the type as Linux, subtype as Arch, and for the version, choose 64-bit. Then click on Hardware and allocate the desired amount of RAM and CPU cores for the Arch VM. In my case, I will use 10 GB of RAM and 3 CPU cores for best performance. Now make sure the slider stays within the green range and click on Next. Now allocate at least 30 GB or more. Now make sure you have a free space left on the host machine. Then click Finish. Now this is the summary of the virtual machine. To optimize performance, select the VM, click Settings and switch to Expert mode. In the General settings under Advanced, set the shared clipboard to bidirectional to enable clipboard sharing between Windows 11 and Arch Linux. I'm not going to enable drag and drop, so I will leave it disabled. Now select Display from the sidebar and increase the video memory to maximum. Disable 3D acceleration as it may not work properly unless you have a recent NVIDIA GPU. Now go to Storage in the sidebar. Under the IDE controller, click Empty, then select the DVD icon and choose a disk file and import the Arch ISO file. Now let's configure networking. You can use the default NAT, but if you want this virtual machine to be accessed from another computer on the network, choose Bridged Adapter. Now this will give Arch its own IP address, allowing remote access via SSH. And if you're unsure, leave it as NAT, and that's it, we have configured the virtual machine. It's time to start the VM. To do so, click on the Start button. Then click inside the virtual machine to begin installation. Now use the arrow keys to select archinstall media and press enter to start the installer. Now keep in mind, when you click inside the VM, the cursor is captured by the guest OS. To release, press the right control key on your keyboard to regain the control of the host OS. During the Arch Linux installation, the first thing to check is whether you have a stable internet connection. Ensure that your host OS or Windows 11 is connected to the fast internet. Now type this command to synchronize the package databases, then install the arch-keyring and archinstall packages by executing these commands one after the other. Now run the Arch installer script by typing archinstall and press enter. Now use the arrow keys to navigate through the options and press the enter key for selection. Now set the system language by selecting your option, then choose your locale. In my case, I'm going to leave the first three options at their default values. Then choose disk configuration, choose partitionizing, and use the best effort partition layout. Then select the drive where you want to install Arch Linux. Now select the virtual drive by pressing either the spacebar or the tab key. You will see an asterisk between the square brackets to indicate that the drive has been selected. Now choose the ext4 file system, then leave disk encryption option and make sure swap is enabled. Next, select the bootloader as grub, which works better. Then set the hostname as Arch Linux. Then set the password for the root user. Then create a new user account and add this user to the sudoers list for elevated privileges. Now scroll down and choose to confirm and exit. It's time to install the desktop environment. Select profile type and choose desktop. The Arch install offers a plethora of options, but for this demonstration, I will choose GNOME Desktop. If your PC has limited system resources, it's recommended to choose the lightweight desktop environment such as XFCE, Mate, or Cinnamon. Now select the graphic drivers and choose to install open source drivers. Then select the audio option and choose the audio server as Pipewire. If you wish, you can also install additional kernels, but for now, I will stick with the default kernel. After that, select the network configuration and choose to use the network manager. With additional packages, you can specify a list of tools to be installed separated by spaces. You can also use optional repositories like multilib to enable support for 32-bit applications. But for now, I leave it unchecked. And lastly, select your time zone to set the time on your system. Now go ahead and check all the options and haven't left anything blank. Once you have confirmed all the options, select Install and wait for a few minutes for the script to perform its magic. Now once it's done, you will see a prompt to perform post-installation steps. Select Yes to enter the chroot environment and start customizing your new Arch Linux installation. It's time to install some lightweight GUI applications like Firefox, VLC, LibreOffice, and some essential packages. And lastly, let's install Flatpak. This will fix the Discover backend on Plasma desktop environment. Now exit from the chroot environment. Once it's done, shut down the VirtualBox by typing this command. Then head over to the virtual machine settings of Arch. Choose Storage, select Arch ISO file, and remove the drop. Now turn on the VM to boot into Arch Linux. Now this is how you can quickly and easily install Arch Linux in just 5 minutes using the archinstall script. It's time to install VirtualBox Guest Edition tools that will enable 3D acceleration, full screen support, clipboard sharing, and more functionalities. To do so, first open the terminal or console and run this command to update the system. Then type this command to install kernel headers. Now using the menu bar, select Devices, choose Insert Guest Editions. Once it's mounted, open File Manager and you will see a CD icon on the sidebar. Just go ahead and click on it and copy all files and paste them into the Documents directory. We need to install this file to enable the extra features of the VirtualBox. To do so, change the permissions to this file by running this command. Then type this command to execute the package. And that's it, Guest Edition support is added to Arch Linux virtual machine. Now you can see it uses the full screen resolution It's better to restart the VM to affect these changes. And voila, as you can see, Arch Linux runs super smooth. Now, if in case you decide to delete the Arch Linux, first turn off the VM, then head over to the main user interface of the VirtualBox. From the sidebar, select Arch VM and right-click, choose Remove and delete all files. And that's pretty much it. What do you guys think about it? If you have any questions or queries, do post them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. This has been KSK Royal. I will see you in the next one.